That's the truth. We all have to slow down and breathe some air in these days. So, welcome back, guys. My name is Ollie Christen. Um, I got a few replies from you guys yesterday regarding our workshop we did for the cleansing pranayama. Most of them we could answer already online, like detailed questions, and you can see them below the video. The video I will post actually again the link, which is now on YouTube as well. So you can look it up there. But one of the questions that I probably did not answer yesterday online in real time was like how many times you should actually do this exercise. So this is a cleansing exercise, so it's quite different from for the free divers. Sometimes you're not sure, should I do an exercise every other day or even not more than twice per week, like CO2 tables, for example. Cleansing exercises like what we did yesterday, you can do every day. And actually, I recommend to do it every day, especially when you start, when you're new to these exercises and pranayama in general. Do it every day and build up a routine. So in the beginning, you will focus on very precise execution. So always have the straight spine position, the posture, and have a really correct application with your hands, that you get used how to count, that you are very relaxed in the shoulders and the chest while you're using your belly as a bellows, and so on. So don't rush it. Build up your speed and your numbers until you feel very comfortable with it, and keep doing that on a daily basis. Once you have this routine built up and you don't have a congestion that you are dealing with, then it's actually very good, very helpful to do the exercise during a congestion. So it will probably help you to go away. But if you don't have an urgent situation where you need some cleansing, then twice per week is probably fine to maintain that level. And the second question is like how many repetitions per session. So yesterday I said, right, why not 20 from starting from one side and then 20 starting from the other side? That's a good starting level. Take your time doing that. And as you progress, as you become faster, that's going to be done in 30 seconds. So you can easily go to 100, 150, 200 repetitions. Over time, you can actually not go by repetitions anymore, but by time. So from the book that I'm relying on when I go for these, I can actually put that link in that for that book as well. That's Reinhard Gammenthaler's book, which has been released now also in English just recently. In there, he says it should be 15 to 20 minutes per session, and that's probably good enough then. So if you do that 15 to 20 minutes every day, that would be quite a performance. I don't think this is for our purpose in free diving, or most of you guys are free divers, as we saw yesterday. Is enough to do it. Let's say start with 25 repetitions or even 20, as long as you do it repeatedly. That's where the gain comes from. It's from doing something over days, weeks, months, and if not years. I've been starting to do that 2009, if I'm not mistaken. So that's now 11 years. And for a very long time, like until recently, until we got a few other things to do, as you know, from where I come from, Gilead, things were not very rosy in the last 2 years in general, and now the situation has not gotten better, of course. But until that time, for me, it was like either I'm free diving on a day or I'm doing such exercises, basic exercises, to build up and keep a certain level of muscle control and relaxation on demand. Basically, that's also a very important part of such exercises. Good. I hope that was a bit of extra information for you guys that helps you to build up your routine there. Another question that came quite a few times was about, I mentioned hyperventilation yesterday, and you should never do these exercises before a free dive, before holding your breath in water, or as my wife would say, water, but I'm slowly transitioning there. Um, So that's true. That's absolutely true. And there's no exception to that. So then the question is, well, what should I do then instead of doing anything that is hyperventilation? And there were questions like, well, if I inhale one time and exhale twice as long, is that hyperventilation? Or if I inhale and extend the exhalations, is that a hyperventilation? And the answer is always yes. Every time when you focus on your breathing, most likely you will hyperventilate. It's very rare that I see someone doing conscious underbreathing or hypoventilation, which is an excellent exercise. Of course, we can go into such exercises as well, where you do breath control and breath extension exercises. They are excellent training forms. But it's very rare that someone that is not cued, that is not like working in that direction, will focus on breathing and breathe less than normal. So, long story short, when I tell you extend your exhalation, what you will most likely do is take a big breath and then, and there you have a nice long exhalation. And then the next breath is a big one again. In other words, most of the times you will probably buy a long exhalation by taking a bigger breath than normal, and then pretty quickly we have a hyperventilation situation again. And that's where then yesterday William Trubridge went online and introduced the term, or said, what is actually the right thing to do? It's to relax. And he mentioned a thing in there which is actually a very recent thing, or very recent, which is just the last 5-6 years. The term relaxation phase is fairly new. Before that, it was called a breathe up, and in competitive freediving, when I watch competitions online now and on Dive Eye, the term is still used, breathe up, even though breathing up has really not much to do with, or the phase, the time before a breath hold has not much to do with breathing up. It has to do with relaxation. So in 2014, I wrote a proposal for, that was AIDA then, I guess that went to the board, or at least the Education Commission, and the title was Relaxation Phase instead of, that's a thing that doesn't work, huh? It says Relaxation Phase instead of Breathe Up. So, and that's quite an elaborate thing, and I want to point a few things out because it fits in very nicely with what we just discussed. So the last phase of preparation for a freedive has nothing to do with oxygenating your body, but a lot with physical and mental relaxation and focusing. I propose to teach a relaxation exercise to achieve that. And then I explain what is one of these, the simplest exercises, the body scan, which we introduced then 2015 actually, for the first manuals, the AIDA 1, 2, and 3 manuals, rather than relying on the body scan. And I went on then, like, why does it work actually? And that's an interesting story. So there is a thing in yoga called the spontaneous breath hold, or for the yogis, and pardon my Sanskrit pronunciation, it's called Kevala Kumbhaka. If someone can guide me in the pronunciation, I would be very grateful for that. Grateful. What is that? So let me cite from that paper. As the breathing volume is regulated by the amount of carbon dioxide in the blood, the breathing volume gets smaller the more relaxed we are physically and mentally. If the relaxation is complete, whatever that means, advanced yogi stuff I put there in parentheses, we are actually producing so little CO2 that the breathing can stop spontaneously and unnoticed. This is the perfect state to take the last breath, as I call it then, and do a free dive. And that's a thing that you maybe have already experienced if you are doing yoga or if you're doing pranayama classes. You should always end your class, of course, with a shavasana. That means you're laying down and you're focusing on your relaxation. So maybe your teacher will talk you through a physical relaxation, a happy place meditation, whatever, it all works. Important is that you focus on your physical relaxation and your mind stays on that path, on that way, on that adventure through your own body. So at that moment, you can get so relaxed that your body actually stops breathing for a moment, for as long as it takes, actually, until the CO2 level comes up a bit again, and the CO2 will trigger the next breath. So this is the perfect state to start a free dive, to be physically and mentally so relaxed that no, or the minimum amount possible of CO2 is produced, then you're ready to dive. So we concluded from that it's basically wrong to give any instructions in free diving that could be could lead to hyperventilation if you do not follow the instructions perfectly fine. So extending breath holds will be bought by big inhalations, so that's dangerous. Saying extend or exhale double the time from your inhalation, so same thing there. There's a danger that you go like yeah, I did it. I had a double, my exhalation was double the length from my inhalation, but I bought it with quite a big breath. So that's what we conclude, and don't teach anything that could be abused and become hyperventilation. And secondly, teach the body scan as the basic exercise and use the relaxation phase, the term relaxation phase, instead of breathe up. So in the end of the day, if then in advanced in competitive freediving, other breathing patterns are being used, which is in competitive freediving still very useful depending on the purpose. There are forms of very controlled forms of hyperventilation, which are very interesting to follow, but they have nothing to do with recreational freediving. You don't need them until you go for chasing records. I know people who do 8-minute breath holds without any breath manipulation, not myself, but those who train actually. So it is all possible. Yeah, that's that I wanted to catch up a bit about the whole hyperventilation thing. So if you guys are interested in hearing more about how to do relaxation techniques, if you guys are interested now in these days when we are confined to our homes, it's probably a good idea to develop a routine, a daily routine, what we can do at home. So that is a very good topic where you can combine cleansing exercises, strengthening exercises with breath hold exercises, breath control, and then of course some physical stuff with the easiest part, or the easiest, the most efficient part would there be to do at home without being able to go and do your runs outside as usual. So let me know what your topics are, and until then, take care. See you soon.